big invitation for folks for this new moon in Taurus is to create an altar. And altar, again, as a word, I'm getting into a lot of words today. As a word, altar can have some specific associations. And so what I want you to think about this quote unquote altar as, rather than necessarily being like a religious or even like a spiritual, it doesn't even have to be a spiritual thing, more of a seasonal thing, something to appreciate and enjoy. So some ways that could manifest in your home. I'll get into some suggestions for this particular altar that I would invite you to explore creating, but any altar in your home, bringing an altar space into your home, it can be anywhere in your house. So for example, I have like a little sewing machine. It's an old antique sewing machine with like the cool metal thing around the bottom, made with like this really beautiful wood. And that's a space in my home that serves as a small altar space. Also, the top of my piano, I have a spinet, and the top of my piano has a few small altar items on it. Also, in my basement, in my usual workspace, when you see my other videos where I have those sort of like hexagons behind me, that buffet or that sideboard that's behind me is like my main altar space in the house. And so whether it's big or small, it's really nice to have a dedicated space for seasonal or just in the moment things like flowers and stuff like that just feel good. So it could also be a space that rotates throughout the seasons, thinking of, or throughout the holidays. So thinking of like in the spring, having your, having flowers, or even like Valentine's, or, the seasonal flowers that are coming up. And then in the summer, maybe it's a little display of like vacation photos or shells from past vacations, stuff like that. Moving into the fall, maybe that's where you put a cornucopia and some of those more kind of earthy, fall style decorations, maybe even pumpkins. In the winter, it can be a place where you put holiday cards, like Christmas cards, Hanukkah cards, New Year's cards, and even like little signs that have a little remembrance or message for the season, right? Like that by itself is an altar. So stepping into what we can do for this new moon in Taurus altar, right? This could be an altar to the goddess Lakshmi, who can be kind of associated with Taurus. It could be to just the moon itself, to the sweet mother moon. It could be to your higher power. Whatever your spiritual system is oriented around, you could dedicate this space to connection with that source. Or it can just be an altar or a space for yourself, filling it with things that just speak to you and make you feel good and fill you with the essence of what you're trying to capture. So some things for new moon in Taurus that would be lovely for your altar. A sash or a cloth in a color that feels rich and earthy. An image or a statue of an elephant or a bull if you prefer. Fragrant flowers, especially for those of us that are a little bit trapped inside right now. And for those of us like me who live in parts of the country where flowers aren't really quite sprouting yet, treat yourself to a gorgeous bouquet of flowers, incense or candles if you're favor that, a bowl of coins or a wad of cash, going back to that financial piece, that sort of manifestation piece. We keep kind of like a jar of coins that I'll pull out for this one. Any I know I have some fine jewelry, so any like really nice necklaces that maybe you don't always wear, or other adornments that are like really gorgeous and high quality that maybe you don't make it into your everyday wardrobe. A decadent treat like dark chocolate or chocolate covered cherries, or even like port wine. I think that's what I'm going to do. I love port wine, but I rarely ever have it, so I'm going to bring that. And then candles in colors that complements your other altar items, maybe red or purple or green. And if available, a bowl of fruit. So I have like bananas and oranges that I'm going to put out on my altar. So you could use all of these things. You could use some of these things. And in creating this particular altar, the purpose isn't to set it up in any particular way, but instead, as I mentioned, to lead with your senses and to notice, like to feel the things and smell the things and experience the things as you're placing them, and to let there be a flow that just feels good and beautiful to you, to let that beauty come forth. And then for the items that are consumable, whether edible or burnable or drinkable, every time it feels appropriate, you can light that incense or light that candle, take a piece of the chocolate, take a piece of fruit, let it be kind of a living altar, and that's like, if you're not doing anything else this new moon or the day after, take some time to do that, to create that space for yourself. And you can leave it up until the full moon. You can leave it up for the whole month, until the next new moon, replacing the flowers as needed. Let it be a living, changing part of your home, of your space. Yeah.